Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. Oh, and if you don't mind, like, subscribe, comment. And I've got a link tree down below that's got my social media. And it has my Patreon if you want to help out. Thank y'all. Dr. Joanna Olson-Kennedy has made a career of trying to convince parents to consent to having their underage children transition genders. Yes, she's one of those quacks. She was recently in the news when it was found out that she covered up a taxpayer-funded research report because it showed she was wrong, which most taxpayers knew without money being spent. Now, it has come out that one of her victims has decided to sue her because of realizing the impact after going to a real psychiatric professional. In case you don't know who this Dr. Olson-Kennedy is, let me give you a quick explanation. By the way, you can read up on all this, do your own research. It's going to be in my Substack that's got my links, and then you can take those links and do your own research into this. So, Olson-Kennedy is a medical director for the Center for Trans Youth Health and Development, which is basically a waste of tax dollars. I can already imagine, plus whoever gives money to this hospital, it's a waste of their money. She's an attending physician, investigator, adolescent and young adult medicine and behavioral health. Basically, I'm thinking she learned how to scam people by learning a little bit of psychology. Professor of Clinical Pediatrics, Keck School of Medicine of USC. Joanna Olson-Kennedy, MD, is an adolescent medicine physician specializing in the care of gender non-conforming children and transgendered youth. In other words, kids that may need some psychiatric help are being scammed into believing that there's something they're not. Board certified in pediatrics and adolescent medicine, Dr. Olson-Kennedy has been providing medical intervention for transgender youth and young adults, including puberty suppression and cross-sex hormones, for the past 16 years, and is considered a national expert in this area. Oh, so she's a nationally recognized scam artist. She is the medical director of the Center for Trans Youth Health and Development at Children's Hospital in Los Angeles, the largest transgender youth clinic in the United States. Dr. Olson-Kennedy is professor of clinical pediatrics at the Keck School of Medicine at USC. So, not only does she practice scam medicine, she also teaches it. Okay, and here from Fox News is why this victim is suing the scam artist. Kaya Clementine Breen, now 20, filed her suit Thursday accusing Dr. Joanna Olson-Kennedy, who runs the nation's largest transgender youth clinic at Children's Hospital, Los Angeles, and numerous other defendants of rushing her into transition to a male and overlooking her mental health struggles and history of sexual abuse. She needed psychotherapy, the suit reads in part. Instead, Breen was backtracked into the conveyor belt of irreversibly damaging transgender medical procedures. Breen began puberty blockers at the age of 12, started cross-sex hormones at 13, and underwent a double mastectomy at 14, according to the suit. Yeah. Olson-Kennedy diagnosed Breen with gender dysmorphia mere minutes into their first appointment and recommended puberty blockers at the same meeting, according to the suit, which accuses the doctor of concealing important information and even outright lying to Breen and her parents about the risk and necessity of treatments. A spokesperson for Children's Hospital Los Angeles told Fox News Digital on Monday that the Center of Trans Youth Health and Development has provided high-quality, age-appropriate, medically necessary care for more than 30 years. No, you haven't. The spokesperson continued in an email that the center does not comment on pending litigation, or does it comment on specific patients and their treatment. About the smartest thing they've done in 30 years. Breen started seeing a therapist shortly before attending college, and realized she may not actually be trans, but rather had been suffering from PTSD and other issues related to her unresolved trauma, according to the suit. Wow, go figure. She has since stopped taking testosterone and says her mental health has improved, but her body has been irreversibly and profoundly damaged to the point she is certainly infertile, the suit claims. So basically, Breen's a victim of a scam artist who got a medical degree. And I know I rarely talk about trans issues, and I'm going to go more into it at the end of this, but if you actually study folks who are trans, if you're around them, you notice that getting away from this gender dysmorphia lie, most of them have mental issues that they need psychiatric care for, but we've taken away psychiatric care and we're more gearing towards, oh, just let people do whatever they want.
Transgender is kind of an umbrella term that really describes a person who has an internal gender identity that is different than the one they were assigned at birth. So people get assigned a gender based primarily on their genital anatomy when they're born. So the first thing that you hear in a hospital is, it's a girl or it's a boy. You rarely hear, it's a baby, which is probably what we should be saying. And so some people, as they grow up, they recognize in different ways that they actually feel they have a different gender that they identify with internally that is not aligned with their body. It's important for people to understand that transgender is generally used as an identity. So people self-identify as having this discordance between their internal gender and their assigned birth gender. But in childhood, children sometimes behave as gender non-conforming. So we call children not necessarily transgender, but gender non-conforming, which means they're behaving or expressing their gender in a way that would be unexpected based on their genital anatomy. And that may be things like a boy-bodied person who wants to, say, paint their nails, or wear a skirt, or wear high heels, or have long hair, wear a wig, or in the flip reverse direction, a girl-bodied person who may say, I am a boy, or I wish I were a boy, or call me a boy's name. We have a little bit more latitude in the way that girl-bodied people express their gender. So people usually don't get upset when their girl-bodied child wants to wear pants, or wants to play sports, or wants to play video games, or things that we may associate with more typical male behavior. But if a boy-bodied person wants to wear girls' clothing or play with girls' toys, it generally tends to make us more alarmed as parents, as pediatricians, and as a society.
Okay, and here via the House Oversight Committee is the cover-up and start of congressional investigation into the report. Subcommittee on Healthcare and Financial Services Chairman Lisa McClain, Republican of Michigan, is conducting oversight of the National Institutes of Health, go figure, after the results of a $9.7 million taxpayer-funded research project studying the effects of puberty blockers for transgender youth has been hidden by the project's principal investigator. In a letter to NIH, Director Monica Bertagnolli, Subcommittee Chairwoman McClain requests documents and information related to the ongoing project and unpublished project data. The Committee on Oversight and Accountability is conducting oversight of the National Institutes of Health grant of $9.7 million to an ongoing research project titled The Impact of Early Medical Treatment in Transgender Youth. We are alarmed that the project's principal investigator, Dr. Joanna Olson-Kennedy, is withholding publication of the project's research findings, which cast doubt on the efficacy of the gender-affirming model because she believes the findings would be weaponized by critics of transgender medical interventions for children. How about not weaponizing, but, using the truth to combat lies, but we need later. Dr. Olson-Kennedy's apparent mischaracterization of the TYC study's results and refusal to publish taxpayer-funded research because they contradict her pre-existing biases and could be cited by critics of gender-affirming medical interventions is an irrefutable example of politicization of scientific research and to further ideological agenda, deliberately mischaracterizing and withholding the results of the TYC study, has serious implications for the health and safety of children who are subjected to gender-affirming medical procedures, many of which are irreversible and hold lifelong implications despite lacking inadequate scientific support for their efficacy or safety, continued McLean. NIH is responsible for overseeing its extramural research projects to ensure supported researchers practice transparency, exemplify scientific integrity, and are proper stewards of taxpayer funds. Therefore, in light of the NIH's grantees' unwillingness to release the research project's findings, we ask that you provide documents and information to assist the committee's oversight of this matter. Well, it seems like that doctor needs to be researched and investigated by someone who's not brainwashed. Dear Lord. As I said earlier, if you get into the transgender community and you start, actually investigating what's going on, you will find that most of these folks have mental issues that, if are properly treated, most likely they won't be trying to transition to something that's imaginary. Think I'm joking with you. Actually have no thought process about transgenderism. Just study them. Have actual psychiatrists who are not biased work with these people. And quite quickly, they will start telling you, yes, these people are mentally fucked in the head. Seriously. I've been around them, and a lot of them are really good people. A lot of them are also fucked in the head. Not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Hell, I'm fucked in the head. They're fun people most of the time, unless their demons are just taken over, or somebody's allowed their demons to take over. And that's what this Olson-Kennedy woman's done. She's let the demons of these kids' lives take over so she can profit off of it. I would love to know how much money she has made with this scam. I mean, heck, she just did a $9.7 million taxpayer-funded research project that she hid. There comes a point where mental illness needs to be treated and discipline brought back into this world, because if we don't, this country is going to continually fall and fall, because we've allowed our educational institutions to fall to warped dumbasses. Our military has gotten taken over by dumbasses. And now our medical industry, which has been going this way for a while, has fallen to the dumbasses. It's time that we end the reign of the dumbasses. And I'm not saying necessarily that we need a bunch of rednecks up in there when it comes to the medical field, because, well, I know way too many of the hold my shine set that would attempt it. And we don't need to see that. But seriously, this needs to end. This is some bullshit right here. This has been Paul, Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. Folks, I just want to say thank you for listening. I want to thank you for taking your time. I want to hear what your comments are about what you think on this topic, because your comments are what's important, not necessarily mine. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're Democrat. I want to hear your opinion on these topics. I want to thank you yet again for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, and all that other hoopla. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.